Hey, Crazy Busy Mama world. This is the other half of the Crazy Busy Mama team, and I wanted to do a live so that you could see that this was unscripted, and just do a little bit of chatting. This may be a little bit of a long video, so buckle up or come back to it if you don't have time for it this morning. But I wanted to give some perspective to this community, and I chose this community specifically because this tends to be the most supportive of my wife. So, as you all know, my wife is Lori Conway, Crazy Busy Mama, and you may have seen a post from her this morning. If you follow her on her personal page, she made a long post and she did a few videos. She's actually upstairs napping right now and doesn't know that I'm doing this. So. But I thought it might be helpful to this community because you do seem to be the most supportive, which we appreciate, to give a little bit of perspective and some insight into our life, to just add a different look at things. So bear with me, if you will. So my wife and I have been in the social media public eye for like a decade now. And what you see on social media is us, good, bad, and in between. We are far from perfect, as you all know. But we do live a rather public eye life, and that has a lot of exciting fun parts to it, and then it has a lot of negativity to it as well. And sometimes that negativity tends to stack up. And what I already know, I'm just going to preface this by saying, I already know the logical answer. The logical answer to this is people love y'all. You got a lot of love out there. Don't let the few negative people get you down. Ignore the trolls. I get it. I understand that's the right answer. I say that all the time. I live that all the time. But I want to give you just a little bit of a different perspective, maybe so that you all can reach out and help and be supportive. I think most of you all, in fact, I know most of you all are supportive and love her. But I want to give some perspective so that you understand the importance of that love, and not selfishly, but in general. And what I mean by is in general is I think we spend this generation that we live in, the social media world, is tough because it's bred an entire culture of people that are keyboard warriors and say things to people that they would never say in person. They live behind a keyboard and they just spew off. And let me be clear, I've been guilty of this at times too. I say things on these pages to people sometimes that because people say some mean, hurtful things to my wife, and it's very difficult for me to just sit back because I'm that kind of husband that says, come say that to my face. Like, you'd never say that to my face. We'll deal with that differently, So my logic side understands that we live in a social eye. A lot of people following her, and hurt people. This is something I've taught my kids for years. We live in a fallen world. I truly believe that. We're constantly challenging our hearts as a couple to, hurt people are going to do things to be mean. We've been mean to each other. We've been mean. We're not perfect. I always say to my kids, I never want to judge someone by their worst day. But I'm running down a bunch of rabbit holes here. But sometimes the negativity can really stack up. And it'll really stack up when people start making rude and ignorant and hurtful comments about your kids. That's when Mama Bear or Daddy Bear will come out. Or say things about being shallow or fake, and that this is all about the money and all that. I want you guys to know something. Like, this is actually what we do for a living. Okay, so we do have a traditional business, but it's a small business. It's not a major income producing business. This is primarily what we do. What you see on social media is our primary source of income. And what we've done with that is try to create multiple avenues and multiple sources from that. And this is a decade-long process, but it's really exploded in the last couple of years since quarantine time. It really exploded. Lori is just an infectious personality. People are gravitate towards her. I truly, as a husband, have believed that she's really been blessed by God. Like people, she has a spirit of love, a spirit of truth. She has a spirit of discernment. She has a true spirit of joy that comes from a supernatural creation inside of her. God put that in her. I truly believe that her faith in Christ is what has led to her being such an attractive source and personality. She's one of those people, like what you see on social media is genuinely what you get from her. Like she's just that person. She genuinely is. And that's rare. And I think people are attracted to that because it's like, it's refreshing to see someone who's always positive. You know, it's, I shouldn't say always because I'm on here because she wasn't positive this morning, but she's always turning negative situations into positives. That's just who she is. That's genuinely who she is. And that's why people are attracted to her. That's probably why you're here. And so she took, making recipes and being in the social media eye to begin with. That excites her, and it's a joy for her. She loves working with her family. She loves being at home. She loves working with the kiddos and teaching the kiddos. And when she was a young woman, she wanted to be a teacher. And so this is a way that she has found to be a teacher in a different kind of setting. And also at the same time, she views it as a ministry, called to share the love of Christ, present a different persona out there to the world that people aren't used to seeing these days. Truly being a joyful human being full of the love of Jesus and trying to love on people. Now, I say all that to say, I know the right answers logically, all right? I do. I genuinely do. But I want you all to know that your positivity is just as important to her as her positivity is to you. This weekend, it stacked up on us. We got several hate messages, and it was really, there's just a lot going on in life. I've had some issues that I'm dealing with that I haven't been public about. My father has almost died on us. We've had some stuff going on. And I'm not saying these things for sympathy. I'm saying them for perspective. And I know that my wife is dealing with a lot of stuff. Kids have been dealing with some stuff too. And, to get hate messages and to get mean, hurtful things being sent directly to you, it's like people just pop off the mouth. I understand when you don't like a recipe or this and this, this didn't turn out or this didn't taste. That's one thing. But when you start commenting on people's appearance and you start tearing them down for how they look or how they speak or how they smile or what their kids look like, you heard that right. Or talking about their selfishness. My wife is probably the most selfless human being I genuinely know. She spends hours and hours and hours a day creating content because she gets a thrill out of providing things to people that help them, that they find useful. And on top of that, teaching our kids that lesson as well. Teaching your kids that you can do anything you want to do in the world, especially our girls. Like, hey, you can take and make a business from being a happy, joyful person and putting yourself out there on social media. Again, I want to understand. I want to be clear. I understand that we bear the burden and the responsibility of being in the public eye, and when you include your children in that, you're opening yourself up to criticism. I get that. I genuinely do get that, and I'll bear that responsibility. But I also think it's important that we be mindful for each other in a communal sense. And again, this page typically, we have, Lori has her main page where she's got, I don't even know anymore, 1.2 million followers. She's got a successful stay-at-home moms page that she's had for years, which she started because she wanted to help. She was a stay-at-home mom. She wanted to help moms be successful at home. And they just started sharing humorous things and stories and blogging. And then she's got this page. So, I mean, she's got this and TikTok and YouTube. And I mean, there's over 2.5 million followers out there. You're going to get bad apples and bad seeds. I understand that. But I guess what I wanted to tell you all and encourage you all and ask for your help, I guess, in some ways is, my wife is just a person, she's a human being with feelings. She's a child of God, and a child of God can be hurt just like a normal human being can be hurt. And It's easy. I think, and I'll be guilty of this before. It's like we watched Jesus Revolution this weekend, which was a really good movie, by the way. And and one of the lines in the movie was the truth. I'm going to mess it up, but the truth comes in whispers, but the lies comes in yells. Or the lies are spoken loudly, the truth is always quiet. And I think that all the time we have these supporters. You have these you wonderful human beings out there that support her, and you watch her content, you engage with her content. But you don't think to say, "Hey, thanks," or "You're awesome," and a lot of you do. This sounds pathetic saying this, I guess, out loud as I hear myself saying it, but positive reinforcement is important. And being in the public eye, it's really, really reminded me, specifically for my kiddos, because I'm one of those dads. I'm pretty hard on my kids. Like, I want my kids to be good human beings. And they are good human beings, but I'm hard on them. Like, I know the world is a hard place, and so I'm hard on them because I want them I'm trying to prepare them for a hard life, a hard world. But I also have, in the last 2 years, I've really realized how important it is to create that safe haven of comfort and encouragement and love, even when they do need to be, someone to be hard on them, because that's what's happening with my own life. We are our own best motivators, and we challenge each other on a daily basis. But man, is it hard! And so, what I wanted to do is give some perspective on the importance of loving on each other, the importance of being encouraging and being positive. Those positive messages, it's so silly to say this, but it's like it takes 10 positive messages to outweigh one negative message. And I know that's wrong logically, but in your heart, that stuff starts to build up, and you start questioning yourself. Am I doing this wrong? I know my wife believes that God put her in this as a mission field, and it's like, you're going to face attacks. You're going to have trials and tribulations. I know all that logically. But then when it comes to the reality of it, it's hard. And so I just want to encourage everyone, and this isn't specific to my wife, be an encouragement to human beings. Love on them. When you think positive things, speak positive things. Because what happens all too often is we think positive, but we don't actually go that extra step and say it or encourage it. And it's wild because the negativity flows freely right out of our mouth. I don't know why that is. I think that's something that we all probably struggle with on some level. For those who have been given the gift of being encouragers, God bless you, because you are special people. And I just want to challenge you all and encourage you all that yes, I know that we put ourselves out here intentionally. That's on us. Yes, I know that you got to ignore it all. Yes, I know that that hurt people. And yes, I know that trolls are going to I understand that logically, but sometimes you get caught in your emotion as well. And emotions aren't fake, they're real. We just have to logically work through them, right? And so my challenge or my encouragement to this community is, when you think those positive things, when you have those thoughts of encouragements, verbalize them. And I'm not talking about to just my wife. I'm talking about to your neighbor, to your kids, to your husband, to your wife, to your mom, to your dad. The people that are in your life, when you have positive thoughts, because we have them a lot. I think we just do a really poor job of verbalizing them or typing them out or communicating them in general, is my point. And then you take that and you extrapolate it towards to millions of followers, and it's an amazing influence that you have, but it's an amazing burden that you carry. And so the perspective that I just kind of wanted people to understand is it's easy to think that you're just a woman out here making videos. Why is that a big deal? Well, this is her everything. This is our everything. This is our mission field. This is our income. This is our influence. And our challenge is we want that influence to be a positive place. And sometimes that negativity stacks up. And that's wrong. I get it. I understand that that's on us. That's not on you. But my challenge is that together we can make social media a better place if we choose to. We are never going to make everyone happy. You're never going to keep people from being mean and hurtful. But I think we can overshadow the darkness with the light if we choose to. And for those of you out there watching this who do care, and I know there's a lot of you do, be intentional about being positive. positivity matters, encouragement matters. And I think we need to spend more time, all of us as a community, vesting in being intentional about being positive, about being an encourager, about coming alongside someone and picking them up. Because if we don't, then the world just becomes this negative place of jabs and insults and negativity, where we just feel like, hey, I'm mad today, I'm going to go spew it out at a keyboard. And then what I've found is that when that happens, like take a recipe as an example, I'll use a very specific example. When someone makes a negative comment on a recipe, it's amazing how many more negative comments will follow. But if that recipe has positive comments to it and a lot of positive comments, the negativity disappears or it doesn't even show up. That's the truth. I mean, I've watched that happen. She's made over, I think, 1,500 recipes in her reels now on her personal page. And I can guarantee you the one pattern I've noticed is that the positive comments breed positive comments and the negative comments breed negative comments. It's wild. It's like the seal's broken. When one person wants to say something mean or hurtful, it just starts spewing. And then some people will take that to the next level and just start sending crazy mean things. In messages, and I've tried to front run that and guard her by most of the responses that she gets that you guys will see on social media are actually me. They're not her. I'm trying to keep her in the zone of just be you, work in your ministry, work in your calling, work in your what makes you happy, and I'll deal with this stuff. But you know, that stuff it bleeds through. It's not perfect. But man, oh man. Positivity breeds positivity, and negativity breeds negativity. So my encouragement to you today is we think positive, be positive, share positive, love on people, man. And I'm no better than anyone else. I'll snap at my kids, I'll snap at my wife. I've been a jerk more times than I care to own. So I am not saying this from a place of piousness. I am saying it from the depths of the trenches on being the worst offender. It's like Paul. Paul was he literally killed Christians. I mean, he was the bad guy of all bad guys until Jesus appeared and changed his whole life, right? So Paul was the worst and went to almost the best, right? I'm the worst. I'm not claiming to be any better than anyone else. I just wish that we could remove the scales from our eyes, using the Paul analogy, all of us, and see that true people have feelings, and they're humans, and they need love and encouragement, not this negativity that just tears them down, man. Especially when there's so much servitude being going on. How can you complain and be negative about servitude? It's wild to me. But so just perspective. If you hop over to Lori's page, her personal page, Lori Conway, you'll see I think she put out a long post and a few videos. So she got pretty down this weekend, and I think it's worth watching that so that you have a good understanding. And then hopefully you stuck with me on this one. I know it's long, but it'll just give a little bit of perspective on why it's important. One, to just keep your mouth shut if you don't have anything good to say. If you don't like a recipe, just scroll on, man. Like, just scroll on. And if you don't like what she's wearing or what my kids are wearing or they look like, for crying out loud, just scroll on. There are some mean people, man. And it's really odd because it'll come from places that you don't expect. Some just mean older women that claim to be believers. I mean, it's weird. It's just weird. And so I believe we can all have bad days and say and do things that we don't mean or regret saying. But I just want to encourage you all, be positive, share positivity, and love on each other. That's the premise of what this was about. It's not just about us. It's a bigger picture here. But I wanted to use the platform to address it because it happens. It happens a lot. It's surprising. It's really surprising. So be an encouragement, be a light, love on people. That's what I got. Remember, you never know what someone's dealing with on the other side of stuff. And so I would hate to be really super nasty to somebody on their worst day and you don't even know it, you know. Be good. Be good to people.